here's the secret of the universe nobody understands. People say it's okay to fail if you try your best. But the truth is, and this is the truth, if you try your best, you never fail. And this is the misunderstood secret of the universe. I'll give you an example. I have never seen a man who wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, goes to the gym and trains for 2 hours, 7 days a week, and eats protein and doesn't eat garbage and eats properly and dedicates himself ever. I've never seen that man still be fat, ever. But the point is, of course, I'm not saying he's going to be the best ever, but he's not going to fail at being in good shape. It's biologically impossible if he dedicates himself. I've also never seen a man who wakes up every day, pays attention to the internet, looking at all the different opportunities, tries new things, talks to his friends about new ideas, focuses, works hard, doesn't go on TikTok, doesn't get distracted, doesn't drink, dedicate himself, not get rich. Never seen it. It's very easy to get exactly what you want if you try. What you have is people who try 60%. They try one day, then they miss a day. Then they try 3 days, then they miss a day. And then they say, I tried my best, but I still failed. This isn't real. You didn't try your best because you missed a day. I have always tried my best, which is why I have everything I've ever tried to get. I don't have the things I didn't try to get, but I do have the things I did try to get. If I see a man and he's like, oh, I don't want to work, I don't want to try, I just drink. Well, then I don't like you because you're an idiot. You're a winner because you dedicate yourself. All I'm trying to say is that the world, especially the masculine world, is one large, endless competition. And if you want to win a game, you need to at least play it. You can pretend there's no competition, but then you're not going to win. If you wake up and realize that the car you want, other men want, the woman you want, other men want, the house you want, other men want, the job you want, other men want, the followers you want, other men want. When you realize this, you're like, okay, now I know the competition, let me go try and win. If you're going to sit and say, well, I don't believe there's a competition, that's fine, but you're not going to win anything. If someone were to say to me, Andrew, how do I get rich? I'd say, well, then you have to understand that all the money you're trying to make, other people are trying to make. So you need to be faster. You need to be more competitive. You need to be better than they are. You need to try harder. You need to wake up earlier. You need to dedicate yourself. And if they say to me, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to lose, I'm going to say, okay, then you're a loser. Go lose. Here's the next man who wants to win. And then when he wins, people are going to ask him how he did it. And I'm going to say, because he played the game. This is who you're competing against. So the competition is absolutely and utterly fierce. Understanding that you're a man with a small pistol up against a mighty army. If you want to add a little bit of laziness on top, you're fucked. So when I say people are lazy, they go, I'm not lazy, I work hard every day. You work 8 hours a day? You work eight? The fuck? If I'm awake, I'm working. I'll be driving my Bugatti Chiron through Dubai, working. I'm texting at the same time. I don't take a second off. I don't take a minute off. I don't relax. I don't rest. I don't stop. I don't chill. None, ever. I'm either asleep or at work. That's it. Second I wake up, I check my phone, I begin working. I go to the gym, in between sets I am working. I'm online working the entire day until the second I go to sleep, I am at work. That is all I do. And you are at home competing against me, and you want to watch a movie tonight and then say you're not lazy. You're lazy and you're going to lose forever. That's laziness. Next is stupid. I don't think many people are actually too stupid to be rich. You can be below average IQ and still get very rich. A very small percentage of people are too dumb to be rich. So very small percent are too stupid. It's step by step. Do this, do that, do this, and don't be lazy. It's not that hard, right? So stupid's not the problem. So we have people who are lazy, very few are stupid, but the majority, the main reason most people are broke is because they are arrogant. I will sit here and say all the things I've said. I will do this, take time out of my life for free. Somebody at home will watch and digest it for free. They will agree with the things that are being said, or at least be entertained enough to continue to watch. And they'll sit there and go, nah, I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. They have these egos from fuck knows where because they didn't earn it. And they're just too arrogant to listen to anybody. I became world champion by listening to my coach. I didn't become world champion by walking in and saying, I'll do it myself. That's not how you get anywhere in life. You have to listen. If Mike Tyson were to walk in, or if Elon Musk were to walk in here and talk to me about money, I wouldn't be sitting there going, I can do that. I'd be like, oh, Mr. Elon, richest man in the world. Hello, very nice to meet you. Please, Even though I already understand I don't want to launch a car brand or put rockets in space, please, you must know some things I don't know. How do you deal with the currency fluctuations? Does inflation impact how much it costs for you to send a rocket into space? Like, I'd ask him something that's useful, right? But some people are so brutally arrogant that they'll sit here and they'll listen to all the things I said, and they'll agree that I'm intelligent, they'll agree I'm massively successful, but they'll sit there and go, yeah, but you know what? I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. Everybody's arrogant. I sit with people who I used to go to school with from Luton who are still broke and tell them how to make money. And you know what they do? They answer back. Yeah, but it's not that simple because, the wife gets the kid, and you know what? And I don't like to do things that way. The way I like to work. The way you like to work is why you're fucking broke. So what the fuck are you talking about? You just sat here and wasted 10 minutes of my time. I told you how to take your business of painting and decorating and make a serious amount of money, and now you're telling me the way you like to work? Then stay broke. What level of arrogance? But this is people. They'll sit with a multi-millionaire and tell you their view. Oh, I think that know when you're out qualified and accept it and learn. So we all do. I can't play piano for shit. The piano teacher walked in here and said, this is what you do. And I said, well, I like to move my hands this way. What kind of dumbass? But this is the arrogance people operate under. So I'd say 20% of people are lazy, 20 to 25%. A large portion of the world are not lazy. They're actually working exceptionally hard, but they're doing the wrong thing. 5% of people are too stupid. So say 25%, 5% is 30%. But 70% of people are brutally arrogant. And this is why they are poor. That's the truth.
I'm telling you to be angry. Anger is a fantastic force. Perfectly fine for you to be pissed off. It's perfectly fine for you to look around at your life, look at the house you live in, look at the car you drive, and get pissed off and go, you know what, I want a hotter bitch, I want a nicer house, and I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong if you take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction. You need to get angry about your situation. You're sitting there right now, you're watching it, and you look around you, and you don't own the home you're in, get pissed off. If there ain't a Ferrari on your drive, get pissed off. If you don't have 10 Playboy Bunny level beauties, get pissed off. And well, what the fuck? You need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man, because age will damage you. I mean, if you're a millionaire when you're 60, it's not nearly as good as being a millionaire at my age. I became a millionaire at 28. So you need to realize you've got a few short years as a young man, you're wasting them. You need to sit there and go, shit, get angry. Because getting angry, forced, directed anger is an extremely powerful force. I knew I was going to be the big G before I was the big G. There's nothing fake about belief. I knew what I was going to be. When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. And I say that, people laugh. I'm not joking. When I wanted money, like I needed air. I am smart enough to know that money equals freedom. I needed money. And I used to sit there and just literally my hands in my head, and people are like, what's wrong with you? It's like, I need money. I want money today. I'm not gonna live broke, get rich, or die trying. I understand that completely. I couldn't sleep at night when I was broke. I knew I had to find a way out. I was sitting there going, I refuse to live my human years and be some second-class citizen peasant when there's people out here who get to do whatever the fuck they want. I couldn't tolerate it. And I was so uncomfortable that it gave me the motivation I needed to escape. Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a fuck about you as much as you're going to have to give a fuck about yourself. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. Even your parents, even your friends, even all the people who think they care about you, they care about you. Yeah, sure, there may be 2 or 3 people on the planet genuinely care about you. But nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you out of bed, drag you to a job, force you to work hard, go and get you a hot bitch, and go and buy you a Ferrari. Nobody is going to do that for you. You are never going to have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself. Nobody cares about you enough to do it for you.
I think that the men who do think that way, who think I need to become the king and I need to give the kingdom to my son, I don't think they're happy men. I don't think Genghis Khan was happy. I don't think happiness, you talked about the man, Vivaldi, who did the amazing work, and he was poor. He had a lot of suffering in his soul, and you can hear it in the music, which is why it's so beautiful. And I don't think that happiness is contingent to achieving great things as a man. In fact, I would argue that pain and suffering makes you a better man. I think men are made of pain. I think the more pain you go through, the better you are as a man. Every single lesson you've ever learned as a man, you've learned the hard way. Every single scar you carry makes you stronger. And I think that as a man, pain and suffering is the best thing that can ever possibly happen to you. So if you find the most capable men who can do the most amazing things, they've had the most pain because that turned them into the man they are, and they gave up on happiness a long time ago. I don't think happiness crosses my mind. I'm not happy or sad ever. I've been a millionaire. I've been a fighter. I've done so many different things, and I really think that, like we said, it's the juxtaposition, it's the contrast that makes life interesting. I'm happy with every single element of my life, and even if I wasn't, I would refuse to admit that I'm not, right? This is the life I've lived. I accept all of it. If I've made a mistake in the past, it was the best thing, I believe. At the time, I thought it was the best thing to do. I get a lot of people messaging me, and they're very like, look, I'm very depressed. I made this big mistake 2 years ago, and I lost my wife, whatever. And I try and explain to them that if you did what you believed was best at the time, hindsight's a bitch, right? If you did what you believed was best at the time, then what are you mad for? Every mistake I made in my life, at the time, I thought I was doing the right thing. So I'm not going to be mad at past me. And every single bad thing that's happened to me, every single piece of trauma that's happened in my life has led me here. So if you're happy with where you are currently, then you have to be happy for every bad thing that's ever happened to you. Genuinely, right? If you look at your life now and go, I'm quite happy with where I am, then you have to be happy with every single shit day you've had, because you wouldn't end up here any other way. I wouldn't have grown as a man if my father didn't die. You learn a lot about yourself as a man when your father dies. So of course, I wish my father was alive, right? But if I'm happy with my life now and where it is, you have to accept every shitty day and every single lesson. So yeah, I'm happy for all of it, the good and the bad, my friend. I'm smiling, I'm breathing, I'm alive. And there's a whole bunch of people out here in the world today who are not going to be breathing by the end of it. And there's a whole bunch of people out here in the world today who are going to have those distraught days we were talking about earlier. Something shit's going to happen to them. Their family's going to be in a car crash. As long as that shit ain't happening to me, I am smiling. You cannot depress me. So when I see people who don't have what they want, I consider them losers. And this may be elitist, I understand that. But if I put myself through endless pain to end up where I am, it's very hard for me to have sympathy on the man who's afraid of pain. You're avoiding pain. I've been through endless. I now have everything I've ever desired. You have none of the things you desire. Am I supposed to feel sorry for you because you took the easy way out? Am I supposed to look at you and go, oh, poor dude? No, you were a coward. You didn't go through the shit I went through. You didn't put it on the line. So you deserve your substandard reality. That's what you deserve. You're a loser. Because if you actually wanted it and you actually tried, you'd have it. You could have anything you want. The universe is super giving. You want a Ferrari, you can have it. You want that bitch, you can have her. You can have anything you want on the planet. There's not a girl I look at that I want that I can't have. Not one. That's my reality. There's not a car I can't have. There's not a house I can't buy. If I want to go to a yacht, if I want to go to Antarctica, there's nothing I can't have. Bam. Because I've decided to become this man. It's the same for absolutely every single one of you at home. If you want it, you can have it. If you're sitting there saying, oh, but I tried my best and I still didn't get it, you're lying. You didn't try your best. That is a lie. The universe gives it to everybody who genuinely tries.